who made it to the workshop today. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Emotional Workshop, your forever safe space to chill, feel, and heal. If you are new here, I'm Katera, and I'm very emotional. And I also created this workshop for a space for us to sit in our shadows, reflect on our thoughts, and come out on top. What's up, y'all? What is up? We back in this thing, episode 2, season 2 in this thing, and we in it popping, okay? We are just on a roll. We're not stopping no time soon. So buckle up, get ready, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode where we talked about taking a break and just slowing down, realizing your worth, understanding that what you want is going to have to come from you and nobody else, really. That's really the brink of it. Like, if you want to take a break, take a break. If you want to go after that dream, go after that dream. You know, I kind of talked a lot about a lot of different things, but for the most part, we stayed on topic with taking a break, and that's all that really matters. So before we get into our first segment today, I just want to remind you guys that you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on TikTok, and you can find me on YouTube. And of course, if you're listening to this by audio only, no video or anything like that, you're probably already listening on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, still checking on those other places, okay? But without further ado, let's go ahead and catch up with me and spin the block and just whip it real quick just to turn those 4 corners to see what I've been up to. All right, you guys. So if you're new here, Spin the Block is basically just a time that we just talk about what I've been up to this past week or just in life in general. Since these are pre-recorded, it's like they are kind of on time, but not really with my Spin the Block. So some of the things I'll talk about really did happen this week, and some of the things I'll talk about happened while I was on my break. So I've been really rejuvenated lately. I just kind of been worrying about myself, which will have you feeling rejuvenated, you know, being able to take a break, being able to take a rest, you know, it just allows me to become more rejuvenated. And I'm so in the point of just like rejuvenating myself that I don't want to make no new friends. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just kind of want to be with myself. And I get in these modes sometimes, especially being like an introvert. It's just like sometimes I just don't want to converse with you people, okay? No offense to any of y'all, but my introverts understand. It's just like no love lost at all. I just want to worry about me. And is that a crime to be selfish sometimes? Sometimes it is a crime for people. You know, some people are just like, oh, how dare you be so selfish? Like, oh my God. But me personally, do you, boo? Do you? I understand what it is. Hopefully you understand what it is with me. So yeah, I love just being introverted sometimes and just sitting in my house and rejuvenating myself. It just feels so great. So when I am ready to go out, you know, it's amazing. I do want to touch on something I talked about last week. When I was on my break, one of my closest friends came to visit for her 30th birthday. And yeah, I gotta talk about that, because when I say it felt like a movie, it felt like a movie, and I was just like, turn up. I love living a life like that. So she was like, she always does something so big for her birthday. She has like 50 friends. I'm not even lying, y'all. Like she has so many friends, it's ridiculous. So she always does like some big dinner or some, like, she wanted to do like a house party or something for her 30th. And I was like, you know, well, just let me know. I'm gonna try to make my way down there, because it's the big 3-0. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my friends were leaving the 20s and we're heading to our 30s. So it's just like, yo, like, I want to celebrate. So let me know. I know I'm in Dallas, but I'll make a trip to Tennessee to come celebrate the birthday. You already know what it is. So time was ticking, and it was like the month of her birthday, and I was like, sis, what you doing? Like, are you doing anything? Like, by this time, you taking so long, I probably won't be able to make it because you hadn't said nothing. And she was like, I just don't know what to do. And she was like, I wouldn't mind like taking a trip or something. And I was like, well, if you ever felt like coming to Dallas, I wouldn't mind if you want to come. She was like, really? I was just like, what? Why would you ask me that? Like, we're like really close friends. We've been friends like over 10 years. Like, why would you ever think that you would even have to ask, really? And She was like, "Well, I guess I'll just book a flight there." I was like, "Turn up, why not? Why not?" So she booked a flight, and we were just like, "It's on and popping." She turned up entirely. I can't even say too much. She just turned up for her birthday before she had got to me. So by the time she got to me, she was like super hungover. I was like, "Girl, take your nap. I'm worrying about stuff in my house anyway. So do what you do," because she didn't know I didn't have a job at the time because I don't like telling people my business. I don't care how close to friends we are. I'm just not telling you until I got my life figured out, right? And so I just told her I took the time off, just withholding the story of my life, because I can do that. You can do that. Don't no one gotta tell you. Can't no one tell you what they need to know or have to know about your life if it does not directly affect them. So I was just like, do what you do, girl. Fast forward to like the funnest night. She was here from a Friday. No, she came in on Saturday and left on a Tuesday, I think. Yeah. So I wanted to take her out because we went. Did we go anywhere Saturday? We went somewhere. Yeah. Saturday we went to I can't even tell y'all. We went somewhere on Lower Greenville, and it was like I don't go out here as often because I don't have that many friends here. If I did, I'm pretty sure I'd go out all the time. But when I went down there, I was like, oh, this is like college type of partying, and we're like way out of college, so not really our scene. But we got a drink or two there at this place called like Millie or something. My friend, she's really into EDM, and I used to go to EDM stuff with her, not as much, but sometimes. So it's like I don't mind EDM. Like if I'm turned enough, like I can get into EDM. I'm really just like a party girl. It don't really matter what's going on. So it's just like I can mess with it, but of course I prefer to be around R&B and hip hop and rap and stuff like that. But EDM, I'm not opposed, especially if it's like a pregame spot. I can do that. So then we went to, I think it was, is it called EXO? Maybe it's a club. Is it? I don't remember, y'all. I don't remember. It was literally almost a year ago at this point, but yeah, it was some cute club that had a lot of photo ops and a lot of places to just take pictures. It had good music. They had little games to play in there and good drinks. And we just had a good time. It was like a little chill night, for us to just get our feet wet in the city. And so Sunday came and I was like, I want to take you to Sunday Fun Day. Like it's a big thing here in Dallas. Like people love to do Sunday Fun Day. And at this point, it's a big thing around the US. Everyone just loves brunch. So Sunday is the new official like turn up day in the morning, of course, for the people who got to go to work on Monday. So I had took her out to Deep Ellum around, I don't know, maybe it was like 4 or 5. And it was just so dry. Like it just wasn't giving what we were looking for. So I was like, well, let's just go to the gay district. Cause if you know me, I love the gay district. I'm one of the gays. So it's just kind of like, of course I love the gay district, but my friend also loves the gay district because she's just like an ally to almost any and everything you could think of, right? And so she's like, oh, of course, like we could definitely go to the gay district. So we went out there and it was still early. It was on a Sunday and it was early. It was probably like 8 o'clock and there was like nobody anywhere. We're just like, we'll just get a couple drinks and we'll probably just go home or whatever. And so we went to this one place called Lava Lounge. Well, we went to a couple places and then we decided to go to Lava Lounge. And we walked in Lava Lounge. It was dry. It was real dry. And we were just sitting there like, by this time I was basically, I can't say drunk, but I was real close to being drunk, okay? Because the first place we went to gave me a lot of liquor, okay? My go-to drink, if you ever see me out and you want to get me a drink, okay, I'm gonna have to go to the bar with you because I don't trust y'all. But if you ever see me out, just know that I'm probably drinking a tequila soda, okay? Tequila with a splash of club soda, my go-to, a little lime, we good. So when I went to this first place and asked for tequila and soda, the tequila, okay, this is the cup, right? The tequila was here, all right, and the soda was here. So if you could see that, I'll probably try to zoom in, but it was literally like 3/4 of the cup was tequila. The rest was club soda. And I was like, turn up. Ain't nobody outside right now. It's a Sunday, but I'm about to be lit. I'm about to be lit.com. So when we got to Lava, they were like the only place playing like hip hop music. So at this point, I'm just like, turn up, turn up, turn up. And I'm just like real turned up. My friend has all her birthday gear on. She got her tiara on. She got her sash on. Like, we just in that thing. And I'm just in there dancing, turking it down to the ground. Literally, there's probably like 10 people in this bar, okay? And the 10 people, including me and my friend. And I'm just up there like, all my friends know that I'm a dancer anyway. They all see me dance in high school. But like when we go out to the club, if I'm just like chilling and vibing, they know the liquor hadn't hit yet. They know that I'm turned when I start like going into dance battle mode. And I'm just like, it might seem so funny to people who don't know me. Like, what? She be dancing like that? Like she really be like turning down to the ground, or she really be just like bringing out the moves she be practicing inside of her home, like to the club. That's me. I'm that girl. So I was doing that, and lucky for me, it worked in my favor, because I'm just over there like doing this little thing. Like I literally was doing this dance. I have a video of it. I probably won't insert it because it's just ridiculous, but I was doing it, and one of the party promoters saw me, and she was like in the corner, and she was like dancing with me, like, okay, I see her, because I told you it's only like 10 of us in the club. So she can clearly see me, and she's just like, oh, she getting lit over there. I'm like, I am, girl. I am. All right. I am having so much fun. It ain't even my birthday, but my bitch is in town, and I'm about to act like it's my birthday. So she comes over, and she starts talking to us and just talking, and we're just having a good old time. It's about like 8:30, 9 o'clock by this time. And so Tiffany, that's my friend. I didn't mean to say her name, but y'all know now. She is like, okay, we're probably going to leave around like 10 or whatever. So, because I got to get up for work in the morning because she works remote. And I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. It's like 9 something. I got another hour to just kind of shake off my drunkenness a little bit, and then we can head back. And so after talking to the party promoter for a while, she was like, I'll be back with y'all, whatever. And so at this time, around like 9:30, the club's starting to get a little popping. People coming in, people looking around, and they just like talking. It's maybe about like 20 people now. And so all of a sudden, the party promoter comes over with a bottle, and she was like, I get a free bottle every night, and I'm gonna comp y'all a bottle, because y'all so lit, and it's your birthday. My friend, it was her birthday, and so like I already know. And she was like, I'm gonna give y'all a bottle. We're like, what? A bottle? We ain't never got a bottle in the club, because we don't be doing stuff like that. Like, me and my friends, like, you never gonna see us buy a bottle in the club, because I just pre-gamed and got this bottle at the store for like $30, and y'all trying to tell me I gotta pay $150 for this because I'm in the club? Like, no. So we're like, we don't ever do no type of bottle service. So she brought the bottle over with like some orange juices and different mixers and stuff. And of course, she had some other people that she gave the bottle to too. But it was only like a total like 5 of us. And she was like, don't give this out to nobody. It's just for y'all. And I was just like, what? So by the time we get the bottle, by the way, it was gin. And we were like, ooh, gin. But I had already been drinking tequila. So at least we in the clear family. That's fine. But gin is like, woo, honey. But by this time the club is like packed. It's like at least 40 to 50 deep, and we're like, where everybody come from? And when the bottle came out, I looked at my friend. I said, I guess we're not leaving at 10. And she was like, I guess not. So at this moment, we start to turn up. We got a little posse around us, because the posse came from the party promoter, who already had friends there, and she is always giving them free drinks. So they just all kind of crowded around us, and we're just all just having a good time. Mind you, they have like couches and stuff that line like one side of the wall. So I was like sitting on the couch at one point. And then I decided that I wanted to sit on top of the couch. So, like you can sit on the couch like a normal human, or you can sit on the top of the back of the couch, and just be ridiculous. So that's what I'm doing, because y'all already know I was already tipsy. Then the bottle came out, and I'm just like, it's OD for me. It's OD. So at this point, the music is going. I'm turned. My friend is turned. I have so many videos. My friend met so many people, because she's very bubbly anyway, so she's going to meet a lot of people. She went to the bar so many times and people were like, oh my God, it's your birthday. I gotta get you a shot. It's your birthday. I gotta get you a shot. So like so many people were buying her shots. Then I'm over here minding my business on top of the couch, y'all, sitting on top of the couch. And I'm watching people come in and I'm having such a good time. I'm just like, come on in. Let's have a good time. I promise y'all, it was a literal movie. Okay, it was a literal movie. It was just kind of like this only happens every now and then, unless you are somebody of importance, unless you have a lot of money. Okay, but we got to experience this on my girl's birthday and we had a great time. So I just wanted to talk about my friend coming to visit. We were super hunk over the next day, but it was one for the books. We have videos for days and we just had a really good time. And it was so nice to have my friend come visit me. This is the second friend that's come to Dallas to visit me. And I'm just like, the way that me and my friends turned up in Nashville when there's literally not that much to do for Black people there. I was like, yo, if y'all come out here, like we really gonna turn up because we already be turning up. Like we already be turning up in Nashville with the minimal amount of options that we have. So I had a good time. I wanted to share my joy with you guys. And I hope you guys get to experience some stuff like that with y'all's friends. Or if you don't have friends right now, you make you some friends where you guys can experience that because it's a good time. It's a good time to just get with people that you trust and that you have good memories with and that you just mesh well with. Like, that's really my party friend. And she's just a really good friend for me, a really close friend. She's almost like a sister. So it's just like when we get together, it'd be a good time. So yeah, that was a long spin the block, but I wanted to let you guys know what was up and give you the tea and the rundown on my friend visit because it was so nice and it really touched my heart. And I actually caught COVID after that, but I had a good time leading up to it. I had a good time leading up to it. Okay. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and tiptoe on over to a word from the fam to get this good old quote, good old piece of wisdom before we get into the real nitty gritty of today's topic. All right, let's go. All right, you guys, today's quote comes from the infamous Henry Ford, okay? And I'm pretty sure it's the Henry Ford that made the Fords, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm just assuming, okay? So, the quote is, when everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it, okay? Remember that. Remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. So when everything in your life just feels like ain't nothing working out, everything is against me, I'm over it, I wish somebody would help me. Just know that help is right around the corner because all that friction that's being created is doing nothing but to create some type of momentum, some type of energy, some type of electricity in your life, okay? So it's hard to think like that when you're in the moment of everything being against you. But when you come out on top, you're going to look back and like, I'm glad all that happened because it prepared me to be stronger now. And I am just grateful to be where I'm at right now, regardless of what I had to go through. So, yeah, you guys, just remember that quote by the good old Henry Ford. And I don't know much about him, so if he's a negative person or he's done negative things in history, then I'm sorry, but that was a good quote. All right, we're going to go ahead and get on in the sanctuary, okay, to have our good old fellowship hour, to get to the nitty gritty of today, because I have talked enough about spin the block and a little about this quote, but we're gonna keep going, okay? Let's go. So today's topic is all about life dysmorphia, okay? You can probably gauge where I'm going to go with this, but if you don't know what dysmorphia is, it's not being, I don't know the technical definition, but from what I've gathered is that it's not seeing something for what it really is, So I think often about body dysmorphia. When someone loses a lot of weight or when someone gains a lot of weight, it's hard for them to see their new body. They still see their same old self. It's a shame if you gain in a lot of weight and you keep seeing your old self, because then you're just in denial. But you're also in denial the other way around if you lose a lot of weight and you just look in the mirror and you're actually really small, but you continue to see yourself as a bigger person. It's a form of denial as well. So when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking about how when I first lost weight, I was just like, I would always just like, man, I gotta keep losing weight. I gotta keep losing weight, which I wasn't wrong because I had a goal for myself. But I wouldn't be able to recognize when people were like, oh my God, you lost so much weight. Oh my gosh, you look good. And I'm just like, I think I look the same. I don't see no change. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about really, because I haven't changed. What you mean? I had to look at pictures and compare from back in the day to where I was at that moment to see the growth, right? So sometimes we could just get lost in the details and lost in all the other things we want to happen that prevents us from seeing where we're at. And that can happen in life too. We get caught up in the day-to-day nuances, like, well, I got to finish this and I got to do this and I got to do that. And well, this isn't right and this isn't right. Instead of looking at, oh, well, back then I wanted to be where I'm at right now. Right now I have new goals, so I'm now focusing on something else, but I must take time to stop and appreciate the fact that, hey, I did make it. You know what I'm saying? I did make it to where I wanted to be. And just the way that I made it here, I will make it to where I want to be again. So we get so caught up in where we're currently at and where we currently want to be rather than how we currently are where we wanted to be. And a lot of us just don't take that time to really just sit and reflect on where we came from and how we got to where we are now because of what we wanted back then. And so we start to feel down about ourselves too, and we just feel like we're never reaching that utmost potential that we can have in ourselves because we haven't reached that next goal that we set for ourselves. We haven't reached the full level, the highest peak that we see for ourselves. We're just like, well, I'm just never going to get there. I'm never doing anything for my life. My life is just not going anywhere because I'm not right there. I'm not at the biggest goal that I have for myself. This is a very generic example, but like when I say like the big goal, I only have this in my mind because I needed examples to build a vision and to build some type of mission statement for my business. One of the examples that I saw was of Tesla. I'm gonna be real honest. I do not like Teslas, okay? And I do not subscribe to the guy who runs it either. But I did like their vision, I think it is, their vision and their mission statement. One of them, I don't remember which one it is, but they want to be the leader of electric cars or something in that nature. That's their biggest goal, to like be the number one leader or transform the automobile trajectory to be all electric cars. Like that's their biggest goal. So imagine if they stopped right now and was just like, well, we haven't made every single car or made everybody switch to being in an electric car. You know what I'm saying? So we might as well just stop because we haven't made it there yet. Like we have made no progress. And that would be a full lie to say they have made no progress in their business model or reached any of their goals because they haven't reached that big end goal that they're striving for, and it's possible they may never reach that big end goal, but it is possible that they might, that you don't know, but that's what they're reaching for. So we have to think about that when we're reaching for goals in our life. And it's just like, yes, the goal is to get there, but the goal is also to grow. The goal is also to get to different levels in our life and to experience the journey of life, not to just get to the finish line so quickly. There's so many things that come out of the journey, which we'll talk about later in the season, but you have to appreciate all of that, or else once you get to where you're trying to be, you won't appreciate that either. You'll just be like, well, what's the next thing? Or I didn't do that right. Or you'll find something wrong. You'll find some reason to be upset about something, some reason to just not be grateful. And that's where life dysmorphia comes in. And that's how it can be on the negative side of things. I don't want to say there's not a positive side of life dysmorphia, but when you don't see how far you've come, you can tend to get super down on yourself, and it can tend to be more negative than positive. So why do we feel like we haven't reached where we want to be? Why do we feel like our life isn't what we want it to be? Or why do we get in the space where we're like, I don't want to say there's not a positive side of life dysmorphia, but when you don't see how far you've come, you can tend to get super down on yourself, and it can tend to be more negative than positive. So why do we feel like our life isn't what we want it to be? Or why do we get in the space where we're like, I haven't done much. I don't see any progress in my life. I can't see any of the growth in my life or any of the progression in my life. I can't see any of that. You're just blind to it all. What happens? Why do we get that way? Number one, we lack having a clear mentality, having our own mentality, and that means like allowing other people to influence you as to how your life should look, allowing other people to tell you this is where you should be by now, allowing other people to tell you you're doing something wrong when it feels right to you. A lack of mentality and mindset, just having your own thought process and not allowing other people to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You can be inspired, but don't let other people tell you how to feel. Don't let other people tell you where your life should be right now according to your age, according to your gender, according to the things you've done in life. Everybody's life and everybody's trail and journey is different. So you got to have your own mindset. You got to stick to it and you got to be strong in it and confident in it. We also feel this way because we lack gratitude. We're in a society of instant gratification, which we'll also talk about later in the season, but we just tend to just want things now and not be happy about how far we've come, not being able to sit back and be like, you know what? I wasn't here a year ago. I wasn't here 2 years ago. I wasn't even here 6 months ago. So I really need to appreciate the fact that I'm here right now, because by me striving for something is more than just sitting and waiting for something to happen to me. And every time that I got to this place that I'm at right now is because I decided to strive towards something. I decided to work towards something. I decided to choose me. I decided to put my boundaries up. Whatever you decided to do got you to where you're at right now. And if you did it once, you can do it again, and you can do it again, and you can do it again. Okay? So we got to remember that gratitude is the biggest marker of pushing us forward. I every day, even when things are going wrong in my life, I'm just like, I'm just forever grateful. I'm not going to say this is easy. I'm not just always just like, oh, my car broke down, but I'm happy. I'm so happy. Like, no, that's not how life be working. Okay. But when things do go wrong, I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful that I have the money to take care of this. I'm grateful that I have my peace and sanity within me to sit and reflect on things. I'm happy that I have the mindset and mentality that I have in order to get up and expand my knowledge so that I can expand my skills, so that I can expand my abundance. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm grateful for those things. Even though I'm not where I'm at right now, I'm happy that I have the mentality to even realize how I can get there. Some people don't even have that. And so if you can stop and really look at the small things that make up the bigger picture in your life, you'll be so much more happier, and you'll be able to see the progress in your life and how you transform your life through you getting in the driver's seat and you being like, this is what I want for my life, So, of course, I want to go ahead and give you guys some examples, because what's the point of me getting up here talking if I don't have an example? Whether it's in my life or someone else's life that I experienced it with, whatever. It's my life. Right now, at least. So one of the examples I want to give is when I was in school. Okay, I graduated in 2020 from college, and for all the ones that are just like, I thought you just turned 30. I did. Okay. But I went back to school when I was like 23. Yeah, I went back when I was 23, 24-ish. Yeah. So I graduated in 2020, and while I was in the program I was in, I had so many emotions, right? One of my biggest things was, when is this gonna be over? I am so sick of going to school. I can't say that. I really do love school. I was sick of the things I had to do in school. And that just speaks to how much I probably wasn't supposed to be in that major, but I finished it, so it is what it is. But I really was just like, I just want this to be over with. But then I also had the feeling of, well, when am I ever going to be good at this? Like, I feel like I'm never good enough. I feel like I'm not getting the hang of things. I feel like it's just so hard. I mean, I even had an internship but by the time I was a junior. So I had an internship from junior to senior year up until I graduated, basically. And so even having that internship, I was still just like, I just feel like I'm never going to be good enough at this. And I just don't think I'm going to be that good. And I also battled the feelings of trying to be as good as everybody else. like in my class, and I can say I was like in the top 5 or whatever, but I still didn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though my grades showed, even though my work showed that, hey, you're doing good, I still felt like I was below everybody else, you know? And that just comes from a range of things. It comes from my demographic, being a black girl, coming from, not coming from money, because a lot of people in my program did come from like very stable homes, and a lot of them that didn't even have to use financial aid, you know what I'm saying? And being in a field such as interior design, it's a very expensive field. So it's just like, I was worried the first day of classes when I had to get my kit, and my kit was like between 500 to like $700. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a college student. How am I gonna pay for this? And everyone else was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get our stuff. I'm just like, yo, like I am like so out of my tax bracket here, and I just don't know how this is gonna work. But so I had all of those imposter things like popping up, like I'm not good enough, like I gotta work twice as hard, which I did. Like I would be at the studio at 3 a.m., you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't stop working even when I went home until like 9 p.m. So it's like I really had to work hard to be at that level. And I felt like I don't want to say people didn't work that hard because of where they came from, but they were afforded different opportunities that allowed them to be more prepared for this program, So they took different programs in their schools that prepared them for drafting, prepared them for picking out things for interior designs, prepared them for the basics of interior design. And me, when I got into that program, that first class I had was the first time I knew anything about interior design. I didn't know anything except for pretty pillows and stuff, and I barely knew that. I just knew what looked good. But you couldn't ask me to tell you what type of couch that was. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't ask me like what you would call paint and flooring. Like I didn't know that was called finishes. Like the basic stuff, I didn't know that stuff. So I felt really behind, and I felt like I really had to like put my nose in the book to really understand what was going on. And so once I started to progress, I was still in that mindset that was just like, I'm not doing good enough. I just feel like even when I get into the field and I graduate, I'm still not going to be good enough. I'm not going to be a good designer and all this kind of stuff. And that was that life dysmorphia talking to me. And it was just kind of like, me being stuck in the mindset of being a warehouse manager, like that's where I came from. I was a warehouse manager up until my second to third year in school. And even at the warehouse that I was working at, there were people just like, we knew that you were going to go do, big things. I'm just like, really? Like I never saw myself like that. I just saw myself as a person who was independent, yes, and could handle things, yes, but like striving and being great like in school and stuff, like I didn't see myself like being that, and that was just all of my fear talking, all of the things that I used to be would creep back up and be like, yeah, no, you're still that same person. You're not this talented designer that you strive to be, You're still that warehouse worker who is just going by day by day. And there's no shade to warehouse workers, no shade at all, because one thing I want to tell everybody is that when I worked in the warehouse, it taught me so much. It taught me how to be disciplined. It taught me how to stick to something, because I worked as a warehouse worker starting from the bottom, making like, well, back then $11-12 was all right. It was all right. Okay, it was like, that was like 2012 or something like that, 2012, 13 and stuff. I started making like $12 to $13 when I first got there, and then by the time I left there, I was making around 20 something. So it's just like, yeah, that's not a lot of money, but like back then and at my age, that was a lot of money. So it was like, it taught me so much on how to stick to something, to rise to the occasion, to boost yourself up, to strive for something. And I knew I wanted to be in the trainer position, so I did that. And then I saw a lead position become open, and I worked towards that, and I got that. So it was just like, it taught me so many valuable things on how to persevere and how to work towards something. And that's what I brought with me from that job to school. And that's what allowed me to be successful in school, because I had that past knowledge of things. And I could have let it hold me back, which it tried. Like I told you, it tried to hold me back. by me feeling like I'm not good enough to do things, by me feeling like I just was always a step behind. And I remember one time, it was like the first semester I had in the program, and I had stayed up for 24 hours, y'all. When I say I literally did not go to sleep because I had to finish this model, okay? And when I say this model, it's like if you're in interior design, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're not, after you make your plans and stuff, you can make a 3D model with your hands using different poster boards, cardboard, things like that, and different little, paper supplies, and really build up the space so that people can see it in a 3D version. And so that's what our task was. We had to build up the building that we created with a group, but we had to build it separately and really like bring it to life. So I built mine up, and I was so frustrated because I was working on it all through the night. Like I literally had one of those college nights where I did not go to sleep. And I was like working on it. I was like, well, it's officially 7 o'clock and class starts at 8. So I gotta go. And when I walked out of my apartment, the maintenance man, me and him was cool because I had been there so long. So he was always just like, hey, So I walked out with my model, and he was like, wow. And I was like, what? What's wrong? Like, I don't know. And he was like, that's amazing. Like, you deserve an A for that. And I was like, thanks. I still felt like it wasn't enough though, because I was like, you don't know who I'm in class with. Like, these people in my class, they gonna have it. Like, they got it. You know what I'm saying? Because they were having like 2 stories, and I only had like 1 story, and I was just like, whatever. And so I didn't think that highly of it. But when I got in class, like, people were like, oh my God. And I was like, you hate it. You have to hate it. Like, I know you hate it. And they were just like, that's nice. Like, you did a really good job. And I was just like, even to this day, you guys, to this day, I look at the model, or I think of how it looks, because I can always remember it. And I'm just like, I still don't think it was as good as the other people in the class. Like, I really still feel like there were some people in class who had some really nice ones. And I was like, no, that's nice. You know what I'm saying? And that was just my fear and my lack of confidence talking. It was just like, girl, own up to it. Own up to who you are. Like, if you produce this, don't worry about what nobody else think. Like, see the beauty in your work. Everyone else sees it, so why can't you see it? And it was that life dysmorphia. It was just that I've never been at the top like that. You know what I'm saying? I've never been the person that people are like, oh my God, like, I love your work. I've never been that person up until my late 20s. And when I got into school and when I started actually embracing myself and being confident in myself, then I started to see that, hey, people do actually react to you in that way, in the things that you do and in the things that you create. And so it just took a lot of trial and tribulation for me to get there, because I really did not think that highly of myself. And that was just because middle school days, high school days, boys, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these things that I continued to carry throughout my life, because I was that sheltered child that bloomed late. Like, I really was a late bloomer, like, hands down. I might have been a little hot and a little fast, but like, I still was a late bloomer. I still wasn't out here with the hottest and the latest and the greatest and stuff like that. And it wasn't because of like growing up in poverty or anything like that. It was just the fact that I was a little sheltered. Like, my mom didn't want me out here like that. So it took me a while to really open my eyes up to the world and really embrace all that I came with and all that I liked and wanted to include into my life. So I say all that to say, like, school helped me to see that, hey, you've progressed a lot. You have progressed a lot. Look back on the trajectory of your internship. Look back on where you were before you even got in this program. Before I got in the program, y'all, I was making B's and C's. I was just trying to get out of college. And that was like 2 years in. And when I got in that program, I made all A's every semester. All A's, because I really applied myself. And I could not see how far I had came, because I was steady striving for something more and trying to be more and trying to get the top honors and trying to get this and trying to get that. Like, I let it go to my head to the point that I was like, I want to be the best of everything. I want to be remembered for eons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want it all. So it got to the point where it was just like, pause, realize how far you've come, be grateful for that, and more will come into your life. And that's exactly what I did. Of course, 2020 came around. That's when I graduated, which is crazy. I did not get a chance to walk across the stage because of the Rona. And taking that break helped me realize how far I had came, all the things that I had accomplished. And then I landed the jobs that I landed, and it just solidified a lot of things for me. And I still use that today as my reference when I feel like life is not where I want it to be. And I'm like, well, remember, things take time. Remember that you are where you need to be right now, and you're going to get to where you want to be. But be grateful for how far you've come, mama, because you were not here. You were not here 6-7 years ago. You weren't. So be happy, be grateful. Along with being grateful, remember that it is healthy to strive for more, but it's also healthy to sit back and realize how far you've already strived. Okay. And it's even more healthier to sit back and reflect, because that's really going to help you to continue to strive in the future when you're ready to start back again. Reflect, step back for a second, and then go back and push to strive for more. And I swear, everything you want will come to you gracefully, easily, and in a very joyous way, because you're already grateful and happy about it. Like I said, it's going to take practice, though. Being grateful is not something that we just wake up doing every day, especially because of all the external things that happen in our life and all of the influences that we have. It's not easy to just be grateful. But with time and with practice, you will be able to learn the art of being grateful. And I really want to do like a book review, a book report season where I'm just like giving you guys some real research about gratitude, real research about just different things with our emotions and stuff like that. So, because I don't like when people are just like, be grateful, be happy, just be happy that you're here now. Because I mean, like, yeah, you can say that all day, but how can we need help on how? We keep saying that, but no one's really showing us. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that some of my story helped you to see how you can be grateful for the small things that equal up to the big things that I said earlier, such as being grateful about my mindset, being grateful about the money that I do have, being grateful about my friends, just small things like that. Another example that I have is when I moved to Texas, of course. Now that I've been here for 2 years, I still find myself being like, man, like I need to get out there. I need to do more. Like I didn't come here to just like be in the house or, whatever the case is, or I want more money and things like that. And it's just like, I really, really use this as an example for me to stay grateful and to stay in the mindset of things are going to happen. I will end up going through the very specifics of the jobs that I've had when I talk about how I changed my life in a future episode. But for right now, as an overview, the jobs that I've had have progressively gotten better with each step that I've taken. My first job here, terrible. Second job, cool. Third job, eh. The job I have right now, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like everything has gotten progressively better, though, whether it be money, whether it be people, whether it be the type of job, whatever the case is, home, not at home, whatever. So I'm very grateful for that. And I have to remind myself that, yes, even though things don't feel sweet right now, things will get better. Okay. Just not even a year ago, you were in a different situation that was way different than you are right now. So be patient. And we know how fast a year goes by. I swear, by the time we get like 26, 27, we don't feel the years no more. It's just be like, what space were you in? We don't even talk about the years. What space were you in? What were you doing at that time? Okay, what are you doing now? So it's just kind of like, things are going to progress, and it's going to be in a blink of an eye, which we'll look back and be like, oh, it was a year or 2 years ago, or whatever the case is. Like, it does not feel like I've been in Texas for 2 years, y'all. It doesn't. And by remembering where I came from, why I got here, why I strive to get here, I never want to take what I have for granted again. Like, I want to appreciate this, because this is just way better than I've ever been. Even though things ain't 100% where I want it to be, it's still way better than I've ever been. So It's just food for thought. It really is. So when you're able to reflect and express gratitude for the things that are already in your life and to just reflect on where you've been, you're able to invite an easy flow of new things into your life. You're able to relax a little bit more and get out of your head about what's next. You start receiving more of what you want in life because you're in the energy of gratitude, you're in the energy of acceptance, and you're in the energy of just knowing that what you have right now is better than what you had. And that's not to get you in a lack mindset either, because thinking like that can also make you feel like, well, let me not do nothing too crazy because I don't want to be where I was before, when in reality doing something crazy got you to where you're at now. So you shouldn't really think like you're going to go back to that old mindset, because that's that lack that tries to come back in and tell you how you should and should not think. And as just a side effect, you become satisfied and happy internally with yourself, and you understand that things are happening. You have just a different acceptance and a different appreciation for where you've been and where you're going, and you realize that there's no need to push so hard. There's no need to try to go at a certain speed, or try to strive and get this certain thing by a certain time frame, or else it's going to be all hell breaks loose. You just have a different appreciation, a different way of looking at life when you can understand that life has changed for you. Your life isn't shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to only get better from here, because having the mere thought of wanting to change your life or wanting to strive for something more should let you know already that, hey, I'm on to bigger and better things, because regardless, I don't want to be where I'm at. I don't want to stay right here. I want to strive for something else, but I will appreciate where I'm at right now until I can get to where I'm going to get. I'm not going to stop striving for it, but I'm going to realize that my life has changed a lot, and I appreciate that. I love that. Unless you don't love where you're at, then yes, you need to change something. But if you love that, then just remember, it'll only get better. It'll only get better. So I hope that this fellowship hour touched your soul in some kind of way and helps you just look at your life differently, helps you appreciate your life a little bit more, and just go with the flow of things. When you get too much in your head about where you're trying to go, what you're trying to strive for, go hang out with a friend or something. Go laugh, go watch a TV show, go do something creative, do something to get your mind off of what you're trying to strive towards, because it's just gonna make you go crazy and you're gonna feel like you're behind for life, and we don't want to do that. We just don't want that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take all of this knowledge, marry it with our experience, and create some wisdom in the lab. Let's go, y'all. If you're new here to the lab, you already know. You don't know. Okay, this is where I give you guys some shadow working questions to get your journals out, write them down, write them in your notes app, whatever you got to do. Answer these questions, okay? Because they helped you a lot. And I will be coming out with something soon with all of my little questions. So for you hard-headed people out there that don't like to write them down, you're going to have some eventually, okay? Number one, in what ways has my life changed? This will be a good one for you to kind of be able to refer back to and be like, okay, I'm not there no more. Let me be grateful that I'm not there no more. And let me see the steps that I took to get to where I'm at now. And let me keep those in my little suitcase so I can keep it moving, okay? In what ways has my life changed? That's number one. Number two, what are some challenges that I have successfully overcome? All right. Number three, do I have a hard time realizing my growth? If so, why? And number four, take a minute to express gratitude for how far you've come. Okay, just take a minute, do a little affirmation, take a second, and just talk to yourself. Say, I'm grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that I achieved this thing. I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that I can get up every morning and cook myself breakfast. Whatever you're grateful for, say it aloud to yourself, write it down, make it real, and everything will be all right. Everything will be fine, okay? All right, you guys, you already know what time it is. It's my favorite part of the show, where I make you give yourself a minute to collect all this information, get your thoughts together, or release your thoughts, whatever you want to do. and we have a little guided meditation. So let's go ahead and head to a moment. Hey y'all, thank you for joining me for a moment meditation. We're going to go ahead and get right on into it. If you have not been a part of a meditation with me before, I go through a method for about a minute. It's like a breathing technique. And then for the rest of the time, I let you just fall into your subconscious, okay? So the method that I go through is called the EAR method that I created. It stands for E, embrace. So you're going to embrace your thoughts while you're inhaling a breath. A is for accept. So you're going to hold your breath and accept the thoughts that have come in. And then R is for release. You're going to release your thoughts as you exhale the breath that we inhaled and held. Okay. So when you are breathing, I want you to remember to try to breathe from your diaphragm and your stomach area and not necessarily your chest area. Like, of course, we have to use our lungs and things of that nature, but you want to make sure that you're getting your deep breaths from your stomach. So when you inhale, your stomach expands. When you hold, of course, your stomach doesn't do anything. And then when you exhale, your stomach contracts back. Okay? Before we get started, I want to go ahead and clear the energy, clear your space. So I want you to go ahead and take a deep breath in, hold it, and release. Take a deep breath in, hold it, and release. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. All right. I want you to inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. One more time. Inhale and embrace, hold and accept, exhale and release. The rest of the time will be for you to dive into your subconscious, all right? All right, you guys, I hope you had a great meditation. Before I let you go and you link back up with other Katera, I want to just give you some tips real quick. Sometimes I get fidgety in my meditations and I can feel myself moving my fingers around, or I might want to check the time or something. Allow all of that to happen. Embrace that if that happens to you. Don't feel like you have to be, it's like just stone cold straight, no movement. Things will happen. Sometimes I laugh through my meditation. So if you caught me smirking, it's because just different thoughts come up in my head that make me laugh. So there's just different things that happen in your meditation. I just want you to know that whatever your meditation practice looks like, is perfect for you. It doesn't have to look like everyone else's. So if you felt like you were not that successful in this meditation because you didn't finish, or you were fidgety, or you were thinking about things that made you laugh, just know that you were 100% efficient and you did exactly what needed to be done because you grounded yourself so that you can be present throughout the rest of your day. Okay? So I will see you guys in the next clip. Toots. All right, you guys, that has been another episode here in the Emotional Workshop, episode 2 in season 2. All right. I just want to take this time to say thank you so much for showing up today. Really, thank yourself for showing up because you're doing it for you, honey. You're doing it for you. And if you want to keep up with me, you can always follow me on IG, Facebook, TikTok at The Emotional Workshop. And you can find us on YouTube if you want to watch this. And if you're on Spotify, you should be able to see the video unless I didn't make friends with technology and couldn't figure it out, one or the other. But you'll know by now. And I am also on Apple Podcasts, other streaming platforms. Not quite sure yet, but I'm working on it. Okay. Without further ado, I hope you guys have a fulfilling week. Okay. And I hope you do something that makes you feel loved this week. I hope to catch you in the next session. All right, y'all. Bye.